What's going on, y'all? This is BoxingWave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. So Adrien Broner has officially been suspended by the WBC in regards to his comments he made in the post-fight interview after beating Carlos Molina this past Saturday. All right, he made a statement about Mexicans, and a lot of Mexican fans were offended. Okay, and I'm here to speak on that. Me personally, I'm not surprised by it. All right, I know Adrien Broner. I know who he is. I've been following him, his career, for a little while now. I've seen the post-fight interviews. I've seen the interviews. I've seen several times where he made comments about Hispanics. You know, I personally don't think Adrien Broner is a racist. We know that he's very flamboyant. We know that he has a sense of humor. We know that he has a big mouth, period. Okay? Do I think he's racist? No. But when you make racist comments, you're taking a huge risk. All right, that's a sensitive subject. Okay, there's plenty of people that's never seen Adrien Broner fight before. They've never seen an interview, or they don't even know who he is. Millions of viewers watching. There's people in the crowd. There's people that never seen this guy before. All right, they have no idea, and they seen him be a Mexican fighter, and he makes a comment like that. It's gonna offend people. It is what it is, you know. I'm not surprised at all. And, you know, the reason why they're suspending him, they have to draw the line somewhere, okay? Because Adrien Broner has made comments. Like, for example, this quote stems from something he usually likes to say at his post-fight interviews, okay? He said before, "Call me the can man. Anyone can get in. Mexicans, Dominicans, Africans, Americans, anyone can get it." Now, when he said it then, it was funny because, you know, he just won. He's naming a long list of fighters. In addition, he said Africans. So it wasn't like he was just speaking about Hispanic fighters. You know, it was funny then. The crowd cheered. Everybody was good with it. But I feel like that line there was the borderline of what you can say when discussing race. You gotta, you know, that's a problem, and it's so risky because even when you're doing jokingly, you know, it's not like Adrien Broner is standing with his friends, his white friends, his Hispanic friends, and they're jokingly making racial comments to each other because they're friends. They're comfortable with talking like that to each other. All right, there's a lot of people that do that. Okay. But when you're on national TV, it's different. It's totally different. And what you say could be very offensive to anyone, especially when it's about race. Okay? If Gennady Golovkin said the same thing about a black man when he beat Curtis Stevens in his post-fight interview, Golovkin would have been suspended within an hour of that fight. It wouldn't have been 3-4 days. Okay? It would have been right after that fight. You know what I'm saying? It just, when it comes to, you got to look at it as like this. If you're a black man and you're looking at this like, oh my God, he was just joking, it was not a big deal. No, you gotta understand, if it was a black man and a white fighter said this about a black, or a Hispanic fighter said the same thing about a black man, a black person would feel offended. You know, we've seen several times where online where Robert Garcia said some racist comments, okay, about Cuban fighters and just overall he has made racial comments, and that was on YouTube, or that was on, you know, that's now national TV, but he has made racial comments. The only reason why they haven't made an uproar of it because it was removed quickly, and it is what it is. Now, according to what I've seen or what I read, the WBC would like Broner to make a public apology on that. I think this will be all cleared up after making a public apology, but you have to draw the line somewhere, because if he wins again, what is he going to say the next time he wins, especially if it's against a Hispanic fighter or a Caucasian fighter or whoever, you know, whoever he wins against, you know, we don't know. All right, I don't think this is about Broner being a racist. I think it's about the comment. You can't make racist comments like that. It's very sensitive. You might offend people, and I'm not surprised at all. Okay, if I have to give any more examples, you got to look at it this way too. This is not in relation to boxing, but look how comedy is. You have black comics that always make jokes about white people. They make it, they do it all the time. You know, black comics, most people that attend are black, maybe some Hispanic, you know, fans of the comedians that might attend these events. All right, they'll sit in the crowd, but there'll be that one white couple that's sitting right there, and the comedian will start making jokes about white people. It happens all the time. No one cares anymore because people been doing it, comedians been doing it for years, for decades, okay? But if a white comedian were to do the same thing about black people, you know how sensitive we are. You know, me personally, I'm not as sensitive by that. I'll laugh or whatever. I don't care. You can make jokes about black people all you want. I don't care. If it's joke, you know, it's a difference between it being jokingly and being serious, you being serious with it, okay? There are times where I am offended, but I understand that these guys, you know, I understand that Adrien Broner is just a very flamboyant, like, you know, he has a big mouth. Like, I understand his personality. He has a sense of humor. But we know how you got to look at it. If you're black, if you're a fan of Adrien Broner and you're a black man and you think that this is like, it wasn't a big deal, you got to understand, if it was about black people, you know, if there was a white comedian making jokes about black people, would you be offended? Most black folks would be offended, okay? If it was a white fighter, if Kovalev beat Cedric Agnew and said the same thing about black people in his post-fight interview, he would have been suspended right after the fight. All right, he would have made it back to the locker room. He would have been suspended. Okay, it just would. It would have been a big deal. You know, Rev Al Sharpton would have came out and made a big speech about it. We already know how it is when, you know, a racist comment or racial, not racist, but a racial comment is made about black folks. So that's the way you got to look at it. You got to be fair, you know, you got to be fair, and this will end Adrien Broner speaking about, I think this suspension here will end Adrien Broner making comments about Hispanics or just other races in general. It's just real risky, and they don't want boxers to get in the habit of doing that. They don't want them to get too comfortable, even when they saying it in a jokingly manner. It's just too risky. All right, you can easily offend people, and there's a lot of first time viewers that probably were offended by this. All right, so that's it. That's all I want to talk about it. You guys leave your comments and your thoughts, you know. If you're a Mexican, you know, subscriber, let me know, were you offended by it or not? And you know, do you think the suspension was necessary? You know, let me know if the suspension was necessary or not. It's not my call to make it, you know. Me personally, you know, I know how Adrien Broner is, so I don't think he was trying to be offensive, but at the same time, this is something, you know, I feel like it had to be done at the same time, because there's no telling what he would have said in the next post-fight interview, you know. I feel like he was just crossing that line, you know, of what to say when it comes to race. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you want, hit me on my Twitter. You can reach out to me on there and we could talk about it on Twitter as well. All right, thanks.